All right, our final presenter for the morning session of the new Beverage Showdown Finals is Vasa Martinez, who is the founder and CEO of Perfy. Come on up, Vasa. How are you? Your clicker?
Yes.
And
I'm definitely using the laser pointer on this. Today we're going to start with a video.
And it'll be interesting to see if the next big soda brand will actually be called a soda, right?
That's the big question. Is soda a bad word now, or is soda now a sparkling or seltzer? So I'm very, very curious to see how that progresses over the next 5 to 10 years.
Who's going to step up and save soda?
So I chatted about that yesterday, and I basically said thanks to the brands that are already starting this functional soda category. Today I'm going to start with a briefer version of the founding story. To be honest, I can't go through that again. But the idea behind Perfy all started from years of traumatic events in my life, and what my goal is to turn pain into purpose with Perfy. So when I was drinking sodas and taking nootropics and adaptogens to try to deal with the pain, I thought, well, hell, why not make my own? So that's really the start of Perfy. The big rhino. But when you look at the data, you'll see that Gen Z is the least likely to say that they're very well with their mental health. And on top of that, 74% of Gen Z said that they had unwanted weight gain during the pandemic. So my hypothesis is that metabolic health and mental health go hand in hand. Right now, 1 in 10 people in America are type 2 diabetic. And by 2025, 1 in 5 will be if we keep up on the same pace. On top of that, 98 million Americans, 1/3 of America, are pre-diabetic. And of those, 80% don't even know. So when I talk about Perfy and I talk about making a healthier soda, everyone says, oh man, beverage is tough, and everyone knows soda is bad for you. But my question always is, but do you really? Do you look at the data? Right now, over 150 pounds of sugar is consumed by an average American. That's a shit ton. So, excuse my language, sorry. My hypothesis is, how do you make something with this amount of sugar? This is 1 sugar cube, or 3.5, 4 grams. Taste as good as something with this amount of sugar. And that's 14 sugar cubes, or about 40 plus grams. And the way that I sought out to do that was, a lot of the presenters up here this week have said, hire people smarter than you. Well, yeah, I hired R&D that's actually good. I don't have the story that I was in my kitchen with one of those sparkling things and fruit. I don't. I went straight for the best, and I said, hey, we need to use allulose. Allulose and sea salt will help make a full sugar soda mouthfeel. And I think that's what people want. Because the consumer journey, people go from Coke to Diet Coke to LaCroix. And there's a huge gap in the middle of Diet Coke to LaCroix, and that's indulgence. So again, I said, how do we bridge that gap with something that's decadent and delicious where people don't have to feel like crap afterwards? And that's what we did. So what is Perfy? Perfy is a low sugar soda enhanced with nootropics and adaptogens for a happy brain. The reason it's low sugar ties into the metabolic health, the diabetes. The reason it's for a happy brain is hopefully people that were going through the same things that I go through can resonate with the product. And hopefully it makes them feel good. Today we're going to go a little bit deeper on what Perfy actually is. We're now keto certified, not keto friendly, which is great for us. So diabetics can trust us. They say that Perfy has the same impact on their blood sugar as water. And for me, one of the huge goals pre-launching and then launching 3 months ago was, let's send it to diabetics and let's have them test their blood sugar. There's no way you can lie or market your way around that. If it's bad for their blood sugar, you're done. And then we expoed at the LA Fit Expo, where people that are just 2% body fat walking around jacked, the Conor McGregors or the Rocks of the world. And at first it reminded me of my time at Quest. At Quest we couldn't hand out a Quest bar. People were like, oh no, I don't eat that. And people were like, oh, I don't drink soda. But lo and behold, later on during that show, people were like, everyone told me to come try this, it's so good. And it reminded me a lot of my early days at Quest. Perfy is also brain boosting. We use 50 milligrams of L-theanine and either 30 milligrams of ashwagandha or turmeric based on the flavor. You might ask why, well, why such a low dose? Well, I don't want Perfy to be a supplement, and I also want share of stomach. And obviously, if you're a beverage brand and people drink 2 or 3 or 4 cans a day, that's not bad. So that's why I went with that amount. One of our major points of difference is that we're not from concentrate. I'd be hard-pressed to find any CSD that doesn't have concentrate. I think I said that right? Double negatives. Well, it's tough to find. Not for concentrate is a goal. That's why we went for so much freshness. There's nothing artificial. It's caffeine-free. Well, why is it caffeine-free? Damn, I'm not going to get to my last slide. Because people drink at night. Boom. Familiar but different. Okay, bye.
Great job. You got one of your microphones. Yep. Oh, that's for you. I got one right here. No, I'm kidding. Thank you. Bonnie, a low sugar soda for a happy brain. Is the market looking for a product like this?
I think so. I think they absolutely are. Poppy, Olipop have done a great job in educating the consumer that there are better-for-you sodas out there. I would like to slow clap your branding and your positioning and the taste of your product.
Thank you.
I think it's absolutely delicious. I love that you've gone with 14% juice. I love that you added real flavors in there, so people are actually also getting the health benefits of the fruit. I don't think your competitors have done that, aside from Spindrift, right? But I don't know if they're really trying to be a soda. I think you've really hit the mark with this one.
Thank you very much.
Matt, Vasa talked about how people go from Coke to Diet Coke to LaCroix, and there's nothing really in between Coke and LaCroix. Does Perfy fit into that space?
Yeah, from a bridge perspective, it's interesting, right? I hadn't thought about it until you brought it up. Again, great category to play in, really big, really established, so well done in terms of that. In terms of moving those consumers on that journey, and as we age, it's the same thing, right? It's also an age curve as well as a health and wellness curve. So maybe so, yeah, it's a good thought. And the unlock on value, of course, is huge. So I like it.
Thank you very much.
Danielle, again, a brand that's sort of centered around better for your mental health, or a better for you soda addressing mental health. Does that speak to you on the can? I mean, do you see what Vasa is trying to express on the front of the can of Perfy?
Well, first of all, I just want to say that you're a really relatable presenter, which is wonderful.
Thank you.
I think that I appreciate that he kept the adaptogens and the nootropics lower in the communication hierarchy, actually, so that it would have broader appeal. Though I think that, the consumer doesn't necessarily know what adaptogens and nootropics are, so you need to bring the actual function, the benefit to the front instead of the feature. And, I think your approach overall is really thoughtful. I think the flavor was nice. It was a little sweet for me, but I understand the target. And I would just, I actually think I'm going to go against Bonnie. I actually think that your visual identity is not differentiated enough. I think that you really need to stand out between the poppy and the culture pop and find your own identity.
Fair enough. I appreciate that. And regarding the hierarchy, on our new label that launches in August, it says "for a happy brain" up top, and we quantify the amount of the functional ingredients on the side. The flavors on the bottom, much easier to read. So we asked a lot of friends in the industry, tell us what you would do, and they did, and we did it.
There you go. Mike, you get the last word, and we haven't necessarily heard too much about taste. How do these products taste? And by the way, I love fruit punch. There's not enough fruit punch flavors out there, folks. So how did the fruit punch taste?
Like fruit punch?
There you go.
Like fruit punch should taste like, it tastes like Hawaiian punch. If you have you want it to punch you in the face, because that's what fruit punch is supposed to do, and it does, and that's awesome. Let me ask you a question. Do you know how hard it is to make science interesting? You know what you just did in front of us here? Do you know what it didn't sound like marketing, and it didn't sound like science. Like Vasa, you know this already, but I really like you as a person, and I think someone just needs to interview you about all the things that you love about this, and just you need to, Perfy, it's like bottling your essence, and when you drink it, you're like, oh, I get it now, but it's not coming through on pack. Perfy, the word Perfy, and I almost cried when you talked about your mom yesterday, and so I'm a little choked up right now, but you got to figure out how to get that onto pack, because nootropics and adaptogens are not what you're selling, and even the calm, that's not it either. There's something there. If you capture that, you're going to win.
Thank you. Will do.
Outstanding. Very well done, Vasa. Thank you. Outstanding job by the first three finalists that we saw today. We're going to see the other three finalists, or the final three finalists, at 2:00 p.m. Eastern Time. You don't want to miss it. We're going to announce the winner of the competition at 3:50 p.m. Eastern Time. But right now, I'm going to bring up my colleague Jeff Kleinman up to the stage for our next presenter, and our judges will step off the stage. See you soon.
Oh, Bonnie.